Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. If you can hear me, um, it's been a while. It's been quite a while. I went live. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Please, could you just um, type on the comment section that if you can hear me? Type on the comment section to show that you can indeed hear me. Okay, George Onosia say you can hear me. Okay, that's okay. It's been a while. I went live. It's been a while. I went live. Um, I don't know what really happened. Before I got monetized, I was always going live. I was always going live before I got monetized. Okay, Mr. Nonsense, thank you for. You said there's a background noise. Oh, I don't know. Has it cleared? Let me know if the noise is still there. If the noise is still there, let me know. If it's still there, let me know, Mr. Or not. Okay, like I was saying, I used to go live, and then all of a sudden I was unable to go live. That was even I was going live even. Okay, the noise is still there. Okay, I don't know whether it's because of the external microphone I'm using. Maybe let me detach it and see whether the external mic. Please, if the noise is still there, let me know. I just detached the external microphone I was using because I also noticed that there was a time I went live on X. It was like it was echoing. I was wondering whether it was because I was using the external mic. That's why it was echoing. I've removed it because the external mic also helps. It helps to amplify my voice. Yes, it has cleared. Okay, so the problem was this. All right, I'll not use it. I'll not use it. Thank you for that. So now, I was saying that up until now, I used to go live even before I got monetized by YouTube. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to go live one time, and I got a prompt that told me that I couldn't go live, that I didn't meet, you know, all those conditions YouTube always put forward for you to meet before you go live. I was like, wow. So I took my mind off it. I didn't allow it bother me. And then I just some days ago, I said, okay, let me even check whether the error has. I didn't write to them. I didn't complain. I just left it that way. I just kept on, doing my normal recorded video and posting. I think just a couple of days ago, I just decided that I would let me even check. And then when I checked, I saw that I could go live again. And I said, okay, let me take take up the opportunity to, go live. I mean, after such a long time not being able to go live. So that's just the gist around the corner. Now the main issue here, my people, my fellow Nigerians, is the issue of course, the protest. The protest. That's what it's like a jingle now, like a commercial jingle. It's everywhere now. You know, the protest, the protest, the protest. I mean, some will say that it couldn't have come at a better time, or it was long awaited. It was indeed long awaited because, and sometimes I ask myself that even Nigeria, that is, they say Nigeria is one of the resource-rich countries of the world. How come the people are so poor. It doesn't match up. It doesn't match up. One of the resource rich countries of the world, where the people can barely eke out a livelihood, is a sad thing. Things that we should take for granted. I always say that things we should take for granted, like just like the air you breathe, like electricity, pipe-borne water. I mean, it's a sad commentary that in this time and age, we are unable to use government pipe-borne water, something as essential as that. And it's very unfortunate that our leaders, the governors, so to speak, here now, let's call it the way it is, they don't even care. They will leave the basic things, the essential things. They will leave the essential things like pipe-borne water, water that would have been treated, tested, for consumption. They will leave that. All of a sudden, all of them, they are crying out or crying out loud now that there's cholera in the country. Why wouldn't there be cholera in the country? People are now left to provide their own water by digging borehole with enormous cost, meaning that if you do not have funds to do that, or your cases, or that's what they say in Nigeria, or your means on your own. That's the acronym for that. And that's what the leaders are supposed to do. But you see them, they will leave that. The ones that will benefit the ordinary people, they will leave it. They will go for big, gigantic elephant projects. That's what they will go for. The one that will not even have far-reaching effects, that's the one they will go for. You see them building, a state that does not have maybe any industry, a state that is not even commercial in the true sense of the word commercial, doesn't have commerce, a state that is not enterprising, will go and build, in fact, put, I don't even know what to say, taxpayers' money into building airports. And I always ask, how many people will fly and use that airport? How many? How many people? Just ask me. How many? But you see them do that. But the basic things that would have had far-reaching impact on the people, just like the pipe-borne water I've just talked about, they would not do that. They would not do that. So it's a very sad commentary. It goes round. It's like a vicious circle from one state to the other, from one state to the other. It goes round. It's like they have come to terms with the fact that let Nigerians take care of themselves. Let Nigerians take care of themselves. If you toil on your own to eke out a livelihood for yourself, they will use multiple taxation to kill that business for you. They will use it to, in fact, they will use it to run you out of business. They will tax you for this, local government tax, and this one will come and tax, government levy, pollution tax for a small, peasant, woman that is just by the roadside, perhaps just frying a car. You use levy to pursue you out of that place. It's very sad. They don't care, but call a spade a spade. They don't care. There's no sugarcoating to this. I won't embellish anything. I'm a Nigerian. I'm protected by the constitution of this country. I have freedom of speech. If you do not like what I say, I won't malign you. I will not malign you. I won't cast aspersion on your person or your personality, but I will say it the way it is. You may not like it. It is very sad. It is very sad. A country that was, your citizens were not even, I mean, I said in my last video that I posted a couple of days ago, when they were barely trying to eat and trying to, survive on $1 a day. They were just between the borderline of the poverty line, the borderline of poverty. They were just there before this present administration. Of course, we were live and well in this country when the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari, and I know what happened, especially a runoff to the election with what went through. I mean, people were like, it can never, anybody that, in fact, anybody, I just remember when I say anybody can become the president, but not Buhari, because they saw it all. And I just remember what one a Republican said about Donald Trump. She said she's a Republican. Donald Trump is also a Republican. He said she can't even vote for a goat to be the president, but not Donald Trump. That was what she said. So in our own case, we thought that in fact, the zenith of cluelessness and maladministration would never go lower than what he went to during President Buhari. How were they supposed to know that he was going to get worse than it was then? How were they supposed to know that? And then we got here where we thought that we were actually inside the fry pan, just like they would say in Nigeria, from fry pan to fire. We thought we were in the fry pan and we needed to get out. Boom! Few months later, in this present dispensation, we went from fry pan and we entered the fire. You know what that means? See, Nigeria, I mean, give it to Nigerians, give it to us. We are very patient people. In fact, sometimes I blame us for I wouldn't say we are docile, because docility is not the same thing as having patience. No, so I would not want to use that word, docility. So I'm like, it's not as if we are docile, but we are just patient. We always believe that God's time is the best. We hand over everything to God. So when we are battered with maybe this other side of our face, we'll give them this other side. That's how patient Nigerians are. And because of this resilience by Nigerians, the so-called leaders now take Nigerians for a ride, for a fool. They say, give them anything, they will not say anything. Give them maladministration, they will not say, at least, they will not say anything. So they just keep pushing Nigerians in a country that the resources of this country are common patrimony. It's called common patrimony. It doesn't belong to a clique, doesn't belong to a cabal. It belongs to everybody, all citizens of this country. But you see them corner this common patrimony, corner it, use it to, they just use it to enjoy life with themselves the families, and the friends. Every other person can go to hell. And they always, when you act, when it seems as if you're grumbling, they'll tell you, wait for your turn. They just tell you, wait for your turn. We are over 250, or is it 250 million, whatever the statistics is. We don't even, today they'll tell you we are 200 million, the next is 220. So we don't even know the exact population number that this country has. We don't even know that. So it is a sham. So how can over 200 people, how can such position go round to come and meet you that they always tell you that wait for your turn, as if it is household by household? Instead of them looking at exactly what is going on, they will not do that. They will tell you wait for your turn. So when Senator Bola Tinubu mounted that, that office, Asu Rock, of course, some will say that you can vast for him. Okay, Shakespeare will always say that there is no art that can construct the mind on the face. No art. I mean, one of my friends is in the US. He will always tell me that Shanice, the fact that he performed, that was how many years ago, doesn't mean he can perform. But I still feel that he may still have the performance streak in it. I don't know how he was advised, but I can tell you what actually set the tone for this administration was that his inaugural speech. Was that the person I know as at least following his political trajectory so far, he would not have made that statement that he did, that the era of fuel subsidy is gone, coming from a president that was just being handed over power to. So that statement had very far-reaching impact, because someone said he was actually at the fuel station. It was like few cars before his turn before he got to his turn to take fuel. Immediately that pronouncement was made, they adjusted the pump price. Nothing has been done, just that announcement alone. From that announcement alone, within few moments from that announcement, the inflation figure jumped tripled immediately. That was how far-reaching that statement made. So I felt you should not have made that statement, because whatever is happening today, this moment, started from that statement that he made. So and for Nigerians to have kept quiet, to have tolerated, I mean, for goodness sake, you don't postpone hunger. Hunger it's okay, let me postpone it for 2 or 3 days. Maybe I'll eat. Let me postpone it for 2 or 3 days. I'll eat tomorrow. Or let me postpone it for a week. Hunger has no postponements. You keep eating every day, 3 times. Or okay, maybe you skip the middle meal and take the first and the last. So it means that you must have funds. Your business has to continue so that you can at least have funds to feed. So you cannot postpone that. So for you to rub off the purchasing power of the people that was even hanging in the balance, it was hanging in the balance. So you came in, made your pronouncements, and eroded that very, I would say, just I say, hanging in the balance. Get it off. How did you expect the people to survive? And they stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed for this period of time that you've been in office. All the window dressing policies you keep making to say that it's going to correct whatever thing you did, you can see that it's not yielding any impact so far, positive impact so far. And what we keep hearing, it's be patient, be patient, be patient. That was how we were told during the last administration, until be patient first year, second year, third year, until 8th year came. And of course, we know the story. It's very sad. So now, perhaps, like I said, maybe they always take Nigerians for a ride. They feel we are very docile. Maybe it's better. It's better we begin to, at least hit the balls very hard. It's better we do that now. At least now that it's still 1 year. So that if they were not on their toes, let them know that it is not business as usual. Nigerians will not have that patience to wait for 8 years. Every year they say, be patient, stay until he has just entered. No problem. It takes time for the plants to begin to germinate and then sprout into fruits that you can go and harvest. We understand that logic. But I think in Nigerian situation, I don't think that that holds sway. Because the moment you want to apply that, you're indeed telling them that, well, they can do as they wish. They can do as they wish. So that is that. So, like I was saying, so I think it's better now for Nigerians to tell the president, wake up. It's not going to be business as usual. Nigerians have run out of patience. So if you were slower, rejig your administration, rejig your people, rejig your economic team. Wake up, because no time to waste. Because for goodness sake, I do not understand. I mean, well, it's not as if I'm veering off from the topic of this live stream, which I said, of course, it's all about it's all about the protest. But of course, I wanted to discuss the issue. Excuse me. I wanted to discuss the issue of trigger happy security men, policemen, who are drafted to to manage civil crises like this, like demonstration protests from the civil populace. I know I want to talk about that, but I'm trying to lay at least a preamble before that, because I'm just setting the tone to want to know why is it whenever police security operatives, the policemen and other security agents are drafted to quelling or this is not even a riot to say you want to quell a riot. It's not a riot. Maybe you're drafted just to go there, protect the protesters, and then ensure that they keep within the law, the legal limits of their right, their constitutional right, and to peaceful protests. So at what point does the bullet start flying when we are not at war? So at what point when we are not at war? So that is the point. That's what I'm going to discuss, that I'm talking about. But I'm just laying the tone for the conversation, that Nigerians have been very, very patient. They have been very, nobody come here and tell me that Nigerians are not patient. If there's any set of people in the world, I think Nigeria are the most patient people. Nigerians are the most patient people. But why Nigerians are so treated with levity from their leaders is what beats me. Is what beats me. Oh, is it because they say that Nigerians, they are very this kind of spirit of resilience that they have. If you push them to the wall, they just keep pushing, and they push the wall. They find a way of extending the wall so that they continue to move. So that's just the point. And then this leader, because of that, when they are appointed or they are elected, as it were, they come, and before the election, they all brandish what they call manifestos, party manifestos. So sometimes, I think I was having a chat with a friend of mine. He's in Canada. So he said, even those manifestos, maybe they just go to the internet and then download manifestos. They just download the manifesto, copy and pasted it, and then start brandishing it as their party manifestos without indeed reading the content and the letter of those manifestos, so that they'll begin to warm up or put things in place. Because I mean, election is binary. Election is a binary, occurrence. It's either you win or you lose, just two. So, except you want to tell me that you're not going to win, that's why you are not prepared. You come out with a manifesto, you have everything there, you promise everything that you put down there. Perhaps just come up and say, okay, I know I'm not going to win this election, so there's really no point looking at this manifesto because I'm not going to win the election, except that. But if you know that it is binary, that you can win or you lose, then of course you can begin to look at the contents of the manifesto and then how you can achieve all the promises inherent in that manifesto. You can do that. That because, like my friend said, they don't even, this manifesto, the manifesto, the content of that manifesto was not even drafted by them. So they don't even know what is there. They might even be reading it and not even understanding it. Because I don't understand a president that said he has, he said that being the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has always been his lifelong ambition. He said that. We're all alive and well. And that he's been nursing the ambition to be the president of the country for over 30 years. For over 30 years. So meaning that he has a blueprint, there's a roadmap to prosperity that he has over the years. He has understudied, which as soon as it's coming in, just like what happened in the US, as soon as President Biden, as soon as Joe Biden came on, in fact, even before he was sworn in, you could see that he already started putting, he has already started appointing people to strategic positions, to tell you this was somebody that was born ready. He was born ready. Before swearing in, I'm telling you, before saying you will see the secretary to the Secretary of State, he was just putting people, telling you they were there waiting just to have the legal authority to do that. The moment he got that legal authority, after being voted in, he didn't waste time. But how come in Nigeria, you say you have been nursing ambition to become the president for over 30 years. And then after the election, it was as if you were not even prepared for anything. It's funny, as if you weren't even prepared for anything. So, but if you can hear me, and those that are watching me here, if you can hear me, could you please just leave a comment? So it is something I need to refer to, I need to respond, so that I can just respond to the comment as I'm talking, because this is a very serious issue. I think I've set the tone enough for this conversation. This is a live stream, and we're probably going to stay here for for at least for some time. Now the question is, now, are they telling me that the Nigerians do not have the constitutional right to peaceful protest? Because I do not really understand. Are they just saying that Nigerians should just I don't even know what to say, that whatever thing is thrown at Nigerians should just take whatever thing that is thrown at them? Is that what they are saying? Because I do not really understand why Nigerians, it is their inalienable right to protest. At least the Constitution guarantees that. Understandably, I know that in every they say in every 12 disciples there's a Judas. I know that as you're planning, maybe your mind is to have a peaceful demonstration. That's me. That's me. I want to have peaceful demonstration. I want to embark on peaceful demonstration. That's you too think so. But what you cannot say exactly is the other person. Is the person a mole for the opposition? That's another question, because we cannot write this off. If the person a mole coming there to scuttle what would have been a peaceful protest and make it chaotic and rowdy. Because when we are looking at things, I want to be very fair in this my live stream today. I want to be very fair in this my live stream today. So are you saying that because there could be a mole among the peaceful protesters, so for that, the police will have to be trigger happy? Are the police not trained? Okay, my big boss is here, the former MD of Inspiration FM, Mr. Sam Akpan. I greet you so specially, sir, for joining my live stream. I'm reading your message loud here. You said nobody says Nigerians don't have right to protest, but when the protest is hijacked in places like Kano, Borno, for instance, what do you want the government to do? Keep quiet? That's exactly what I'm saying here. I said, in as much as I said it, I don't know if you got me, Mr. Sam, I don't know if you got me. I said, the fact that we are going on protest, my mind is that I want to embark on peaceful demonstration. That's what me I want to do. You want to embark on peaceful demonstration, but you cannot tell the same with the other person. You don't know if that other person is a mole that is implanted to scuttle the demonstration, to scuttle the peaceful demonstration. And that's where the police and security agents come in. They are trained in a civil way how to handle this kind of civil issues. If the situation gets out of hand, for example, now the police or any other security operative has the means to quell that kind of I would say, if there's any violent eruption, the police is trained. It's not the army. So police, they should not be trigger happy, always much too willing much too willing to, use weapons like bullets on your fellow citizens. It is wrong. That's my point. You can tear gas them. You can have a way of, but not using live ammunition, live bullets, because they are not enemies. I remember one of the videos I posted I think maybe like a year or so ago, and it was on the Biafran war. And Gowon at that time said that they are not treating Chief Ojukwu Odumegu with his battalion. They are not treating them, the Igbos, as if they were enemies, because they are not. That's why he said they don't use the word rebel. They don't use the word rebel because they are not enemies. So because they are your people, you also find a way how you can deal with the situation without inflicting injury on them and then making them look as if you're fighting an enemy. So the police should have a way of quelling that kind of situation without necessarily firing live bullets. That's just my point. Ogasam, I don't know if you heard me. That's just my point. Because the man, I said in my last video, I posted a video, wasn't live like this. Anyway, before I go further, can I make you? Do you want to come into and a speaker, a guest speaker, Mr. Sam? If you can hear me, just type on the message that if you want to be a guest speaker, I'll bring you in so that you can speak. You can I'll turn off in case maybe you don't feel like appearing on the camera. I can turn off the camera and then you can speak. At least just your voice I want to hear. If you can hear me, can you please respond? Okay. So so that's just that. So that is my point. Now I ask the question here: why? I do not want to miss the meat of this topic. The meat of the topic is the issue surrounding trigger happy policemen who are much too willing to use their weapons on protesters. That's the in Nigeria they will say kuku. That's the kuku here. You have heard your own view. Ogasam, you've heard your view. That is because the protest is turning violent. And if the protest is turning violent, what do I expect the police to do? Of course, I expect the police to, arrest the situation, but not by firing live bullets. Not by firing live bullets, because from what I have seen, over 17 people are already killed and still counting. It is democracy. Democracy. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That's what I think was Abraham Lincoln that defined democracy. So if democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people, that means it is our own government. It means it is our government. So if things are not going well, that's why that provision in the Constitution is provided for peaceful protest. The drafters of the Constitution knew that there will always be a window for people to air their grievances, albeit peacefully. Peacefully. That's the underlying word. So that's just my take. Okay, if there's if you have Mr. Nasser, are you still there? If you're there, can you type in the comment section? Because I have something for you to respond to. Mr. Nasser, if you can hear me, if you're still there, could you please type in the comment section, please, that you're here? Because I want to address an issue which I want you to respond to. Okay, you're there. Okay, so like you heard me, my big boss there asked a question. I'm sure you've seen it on screen there, where he said that when a protest becomes violent, when there's some miscreants, some non-entities, if they hijack a protest and then the protest turns violent, what do I expect the police to do? And I said the police can go in and arrest the situation without necessarily firing arms. That's the point I'm making. I don't know whether that syncs with you. If you're in sync with what I just said, Mr. Nosinya, please, can I read your comment to that? Thank you. So, because I always ask this, why are the citizens very upset? Why are the citizens very upset? The answer is not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched because they have been deprived. They have suffered severe deprivation. They've suffered severe deprivation. They've gone through all kinds of harrowing experience. They've been battered psychologically, physically, mentally, you name it. So sometimes they just feel that I'm already on the floor. It can't get worse than it is. I'm already on the floor. It cannot get worse than it is. So at that point, they can do anything. They can do anything, because if you've taken a man's pride and there's just nothing else for him to protect, then that man is lost, completely lost. So that's why you see them getting so angry with the system. They get so angry with the system, and at that point, no persuasion of any kind can calm them down. No persuasion of any kind can calm them down. So, like I said, if the president, I've talked about being preparing for a position you've been eyeing, for years, for almost 3 decades. I'm using Mr. President for example now. Then you should have understudied the the undercurrents of the Nigerian politics. You are your political sagacity is second to none. That's what everybody says. You're a strategist. You are a strategist, Mr. President. So it's very sad that you allow yourself to be Maradona'd. Let me use that expression. You allow yourself to be Maradona'd, by Nigerians or some, there's something I said some time ago. I think you guys would permit me to. I jotted it down. I jotted that down. I can probably just have it read to you guys. And they said that to abandon facts is to abandon freedom. That's what they say. To abandon facts is to abandon freedom, because if nothing is true, then no one can criticize those that we have given a mandate to. Otherwise, we just become spectators. If we cannot speak truth to power, then we have become mere spectators. And then it all goes to say that that the social fabrics of this country, the social fabrics of this country is indeed failing. It's indeed failing. And the bond, that bond that seems to, that community bond that seems to, hold us together is severely fractured. And of course, this community bond that is supposed to hold us together has been so fractured that the thing that would have determined that that civic spirit that makes democracy thrive is gone, is lost, because that community bond that should have kept us together as a people has been fragmented, has been so fragmented, fractured. So until we can come back, and I think there's one particular thing I was actually looking for here, which I can't really see that, which I could. Okay, I probably just I'll just paraphrase. I just paraphrase that, but I wanted to get it done like so that you guys can really get the truth of it, So, Mr. Nasser, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to hear your comments, or to read your comments, Mr. Nasser. You can hear me. Okay. Okay, while I'm waiting for you to respond, and what I wanted to say, I could probably just go ahead to paraphrase that there are leaders, because you asked them, I was talking about a situation where you have a move planted among the demonstrators, among the protesters. You have a move, maybe from an opposition party, or a move, someone that doesn't wish the country well, not the president now, the person that does not wish the country well. You could plant a move among the demonstrators, and then and you ask me, in that instance, what do you think the police should do? So that's what I'm telling you. In line with that there are leaders, there are leaders who blatantly, incite the people with hateful rhetorics. We know that there are leaders who blatantly, incite the people with hateful rhetorics. We know that, and then these leaders, they fear change, and then of course, they fear change, and then they see the war in zero-sum terms. That if you're gaining, then they must be losing, and if they are losing, then they must be. So they don't even want someone to come and interfere. They see the war. They see the war, in zero-sum terms. In zero-sum terms, that's how they see the war. And because of that, they will never allow anything. For example, if something is going on for them very well, if something, okay, you've done that. I can't see. I cannot see your message. I have done that. The messages are not dropping. Then that's what it means. But I can see this one, it just dropped here, that I have done that. The message didn't drop. So like I was saying, that there's some leaders in this country, who are blatantly, inciting people and with hateful rhetorics. With hateful rhetorics. And these same leaders, they fear change like nothing. In fact, as long as something is going well for them, as long as something is going so well for them, they don't want any change because they see the world in zero-sum terms. That if they are gaining, then some other person will be losing, and if they are losing, some other person will be gaining. So now that they are gaining, they don't want anything to temper with that thing that they're gaining. So that's why I'm saying that peradventure, maybe a mole could be planted among the protesters just to scuttle a peaceful protest, to cause mayhem, to cause, scuttle the whole place and make the place chaotic. It can happen. I'm not saying it cannot happen. Because, like I said, those leaders in this country, they are the ones inciting most of these people with their hateful rhetorics all around the place. And they fear change like nothing. Because, okay, Nigerians are, how come in a country where we are so blessed in both human and natural resources, why is it that the equation has not balanced? Only say 10% of the population are the ones that have access, to our common patrimony. The remaining 90% are wallowing in abject poverty, penury, and in destitution. So as long as it's working for this 10%, 10% of the populace, as long as the 10% of the populace have access to a common patrimony, then they will continue to incite, let me use that word, they will continue to incite the people with hateful rhetorics because they fear change and they see the world in just as in zero-sum terms. That if they are gaining, then nobody should come in because they fear change. Because they believe that if they are gaining, then some other person is losing, and if they are losing, then other people will be gaining. So what do we do with those leaders? Because they are there. So that's why we call Mr. Onosoya. Honestly, I haven't seen your message. I wish you could just maybe try and resend it again, because I want this live stream to be interactive. I need to read your comments and respond to your comments and make it interactive. That's so that I just don't. That's why I wanted to bring in my big boss to also express his point of view, so that we can provoke the conversation. So that's what I wanted, but unfortunately, he's been mute for a while. I don't know whether he's still listening to this live stream or he's checked out. But Ogasan, you're still here. I made that request again. If you would want to come into, I can make you a co-guest here and invite you in if you want. And then let me even see. Okay, let me see if I can do that. Okay, so I'll copy this and then I'll copy this and paste. So I copy this and paste for the guests. And I'll copy this and okay, have dropped the link you can that's the link there. You can use the link there to come in, and Augustam, if you're still there, I've dropped the link there for you, so you can use the link if you want to come in. All you need to do is to click on the link, and the link will take you right into the studio, so that you can host this live stream with me, and then we make it more interactive. And because I know that you have, of course, being being a media mogul yourself, you're a you're a resident of information. You're a resident of information, and you have it all there. So it would really make us a lot of good, and further expand the conversation if you can come in and just click on the link, and then to take you right into the studio, Mr. Sam Akpan. So that's what I was saying. And for I have said this, and I know some people will say that this generation, and they call them, is it the Gen Z generation? The Gen Z generation, and they are too hot-headed. Hot-headed. They're impatient. In fact, they call it the Sorosuke generation. That's what they say, and that they lack patience, and they don't believe in waiting. But I said, okay, that they don't believe in waiting, and that they've been influenced by social media. They've been influenced by uh, um, there's this peer pressure. They follow a lot of celebrities and want to live their lifestyle, and then when their personal income cannot afford that, they begin to start anticipating and much more than they can actually afford, and they are the ones that putting pressure on the government. I like that's for me. That's what what kind of talk is that? What kind of talk is that? Is it the peer pressure that will tell the government? I mean, if the so-called Gen Z generation is making a demand that they need water, they need a flow of water in the house. How is that being engineered by peer pressure? These are basic things. I don't think Nigerians are asking for too much. I don't think Nigerians are asking for too much. They're just asking for the basics. I said the other time, they're not saying that come and sponsor us, let's go to space. That's not what they're asking for. They're simply asking for how I can survive, how I can get my 3 square. Do they even ask for 3 square meters for crying out loud? Today, so this is a complete waste of opportunity. I must tell you this. You have an opportunity to make a mark, to write your name, on the sands, and leave your mark on the sands of time. But I don't know. It's very overwhelming. The job is very overwhelming. So if you don't have the capacity, it's sad. And then coming back to the police, because that's the center of the whole thing here, which I haven't really had enough. I would say I haven't really had enough response to that. What should happen to a trigger happy policeman who is I would say who is much too willing to use his weapons? And then if that results in fatality, what do you think should happen to that policeman? Because they won't just treat you, because I just feel that they do these things and they go scot-free. The law does not catch up with them. They are not they are not summoned. The law doesn't, I don't know, because if a policeman brutally maim someone, or there's fatality in the cost of you going for a peaceful demonstration, and the police is supposed to be actually there to protect and guide you, prevent harm from befalling you. and the same police will be the one, because in fact, I even read in one of the tabloids that the police officer and killed the police officer actually caused, I said, that the police officer was able to, because they say, I want to get that right now. Okay, that the Nigerian policeman and killed colleague while firing at, end bad governance protesters in Katsina. That's what they say. And colleague while firing at end bad governance and protesters in Katsina. So it's very sad, So in the course of trying to, use your weapon on peaceful protesters, and then you end up firing your own colleague. Isn't that a sad commentary? Isn't that a sad commentary? So that's just that. And so if you think that, what do you think should be the penalty for a trigger happy security operative who has been drafted to, protect protesters and ends up using his weapon on the protesters and thereby causing some fatality? So what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen to such a policeman? Because they just treat it with, like, okay, let's allow that slide. It was the people. I don't know. That's what I want. I want to find out. So do you think that's the right thing to do, to just allow the policeman to go scot free? Without, of course, I still feel that the law should be able to address that, because I feel that if the law doesn't address that, if the law doesn't really address that, then of course that would be like an incentive, that it means that the police would have been incentivized by just that quietness, yeah, from and the powers that be, from those that would have taken action against such very irresponsible behavior from a security agent, that his responsibility was indeed to protect the protesters, but he will end up, using his weapon on the on the protesters, and then maiming and then causing fatalities. Like I heard about 17 people fatally, wounded. And then, of course, you know what that means. There's certain language that you cannot use on YouTube here. So I'm trying as much as I can to euphemize most of my expressions, so that I don't go against the rule, the YouTube rule. So that's why you see me trying to use some euphemism here to describe certain things. So that's it's really is a sad thing. And then there's one that it said, at least one, um, excuse me, say at least one protester has been confirmed. You know what it means. It suffered some fatality there after a police fired tear gas, to disperse demonstrators. That happened in Niger State, in Suleja. So and then there's an eyewitness, an eyewitness account, and even the Nigerian Bar Association also confirmed the incident. So, but this is so sad, because it's not really fair. And if the police were drafted to protect and guard, protect protesters, and it wouldn't be fair. It is a serious irony that the same police that was drafted to protect will still be the one to cause that kind of a fatality. The number of fatality we're talking about here, almost 20 and still counting. That's not good enough. So I don't know if you have any comments, you have any message to drop. Perhaps you can drop your message. Okay, Mr. Onose, I've seen your message now. And you're saying that freedom of expression gives room for listening and corresponding feedback. Yeah, of course, freedom of expression, I beg your pardon. Freedom of expression certainly does give room, for people to air their views, to talk about what they feel, and then the system. And I always say that the powers that be, those in authority of control and command, should not always see every criticism as negatively impacting. It shouldn't. I mean, this is if it works well, if the citizens are happy, that's kudos. That's to your credit. That's your legacy. That's what you'll be remembered for. That, oh, during your time when you were there, things were like this, things were like so. That follows you. It follows you infinitum. It follows you infinitum. It follows you forever. So you shouldn't always see that when people are coming to express, talk about certain things that are not working. I know you as a grassroots person. I mean, the president, you're rooted. Your mother was the Iyaloja general of Lagos State. It means your mother was, very close to the grassroots, which your daughter has also taken over. So you interact with the grassroots, with the common people. So you should know, because I don't want to believe that they are shielding you from getting the true picture of things. I don't think so. And that was one of the things that made me, go for President Buhari, because I saw him as a grassrooter, someone that was, on the ground, that was interacting. I saw his modest life as someone that would be close to the people, that would know what the people want, and that would not put himself over and above the people, just like what most of our politicians do here. Most of the politicians we have there, even someone that is a local government chairman, you can't even say him. You will have barricades. At that point, he begins to see himself as he begins to exhibit this God complex. He begins to exhibit this God complex. So that is the mentality. But when I see a grassrooter, someone that is deeply into the grassroots, that understands the people, interacts with the people, I always feel that such people should do well. Not the ones that perhaps when you tell the person that there are people in Nigeria that cannot afford a square meal, the person is not possible. That person is detached from reality, completely detached from reality. So that's just the point. Okay, Fon Gabriel is here. Yeah, it took 3 days of intense. Okay, let me even say hello to you, Mfon Gabriel. Thank you so much for joining my live stream. I really appreciate this. I dropped a link there. If you feel like joining the live stream, you can just click on that link, and I'll bring you in as a guest. You may not have to show your face if you don't want to show your face. I can, you can appear while the cam is switched off, so that you can just your audio will just be what people be listening to. So welcome to my live stream. I really appreciate your being here. So I am going to read your message. You said that it took 3 days of intense protests for ASU Rock to find the need to address Nigerians. The broadcast is going to it's going to 7 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. The broadcast is going to be 7 a.m. tomorrow. I see that. You should face the law, dismissed and sentenced for. Okay. That's for George. Okay, let me finish reading the Fon's Gabriel's message. The broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Okay, 7 a.m. tomorrow. That this is to show how irresponsible and insensitive to our Christ. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, point. Yes, as I was saying that, then the fact that I said it, I'm sure you probably must have listened to me. That one of the things that really endeared me, first and foremost, to the former president was the fact that he appeared to be a grassrooter. He appeared to be someone that was closer to the, to the ordinary people. And then from there, one would have thought that he would, of course, understand their nuances. You will understand their nuances. You will understand their aspirations. You will understand what they wanted, and being close to them, and he would be a better leader. That was my take. That's one of the things that actually made me, go for him. And because I do, as a matter of fact, I don't like leaders who have this God complex around them. I don't like leaders who have this God complex around them. I have managed organizations before. My door is always open, open door. You walk in. There's nothing like it because okay, I am, high up there, and suddenly I begin to see myself as a demigod. It can never happen. So a situation where someone begins to exhibit God complex is irritating to me. And that was one of the things too that made me want to say, okay, beyond the fact that they said, President Tinubu, beyond the fact that they said that he made Lagos, beyond the fact that he made Lagos with 50 million naira as internally generated revenue, and then drove it to about 600 million. I think that was what he made Lagos with 600 million, and then drove it to about 50 billion. Drove it to about 50 billion, and such accolades. So beyond all that razzmatazz around him in terms of accomplishments, but what I felt that because him, the son to Yaloja General of Lagos, the mother, the Yaloja, the market women, market women, they are in fact, they are the nearest to the grassroots you can ever think of. They are the nearest to the grassroots you can ever think of. So now and then the daughter has taken over from the mom. So they are close to the grassroots. But how come? What is going on? These people, these ordinary people, are the ones who are, in fact, bearing the brunt. They are the ones bearing the brunt of what is really going on. They are the ones bearing it because they don't have that, they don't command that financial muscle that they can say, okay, I'll use it to do this, I'll use it. They are just commoners, call it the way it is. They are commoners who only live on their daily income from selling pepper, selling oil, selling very little things. So they are close to these people, so they know. I mean, all of a sudden, if you could, for example, in this part of Nigeria, and they say the Gary, that's very stable food that almost everybody enjoys in eating. Do I? I think I do. Come on. I do enjoy eating Gary too, of course. Okay, now, that very staple food now, a custard container that's like almost like 5 liters or so, that they used to buy for. I was talking to one of my friends. He's actually he's in South Africa. He was once here in Nigeria, and I told him that same penthouse Gary that he used to buy. He said he used to buy 250 naira. I said it's now 4,000. He screamed. So how can that pepper seller? How much of that pepper will he sell to be able to afford that? For example, if he has a family size of 5. So it's sad, and that's just the truth. It's sad, that's just the truth. So I expected the president, who is a grassrooter, who is close to the common people, to feel them, to feel them, to feel their pains. And that the first thing, the first pronouncement for his administration would not have been, I have removed subsidy. That would not have been that. But even if that were to be his first major statement as a president of this country, one could have read that he would have put things in place to cushion, the negative impact of such pronouncement, and Nigerians would have hailed him. Yeah, I would have hailed him, because I did think that for him to have made that statement, he would have at least, maybe all those buses would have been kept there. Maybe so many things would have put things in place so that he's making the pronouncement, is commissioning so many things to cushion the effects of such fuel subsidy removal, such that the people, those is grassroots. The man that used to buy that painter of Gary for 250 naira would not feel it, assuming that that jumped, which of course he would not have jumped, because things would have been in place to ensure that that didn't happen. But he didn't do that. That's why I asked that question. Did he actually indeed prepare? Did he prepare to be the president of Nigeria, which he said was his lifelong ambition? That is something that he did for 30 years, 3 decades. He's been warming up to be the president of Nigeria. That first pronouncement that he did, how did that rate him? Because if I was to rate him, I'll say that I don't think he prepared to be the president of Nigeria. I don't think he prepared that long to be the president of Nigeria, or even if he prepared at all. Because those were the first times. Okay, I have, okay, Mr. Anostia, before I read your message, I have Gladys Oyebo here. Gladys Oyebo, thank you for joining my live stream. I appreciate your presence here in my live stream. And you have asked, what question have you put here? Okay, you said, why use guns on the people? Of course, I've said that. Why would you use gun? There's something called fiduciary responsibility. Fiduciary responsibility means that you're given a responsibility to protect. You're still the same person using that position to harm. It means you have failed in that responsibility. That's what it means. That's the fiduciary responsibility. That's the concept of that principle. And then you say, of course, enough is enough. I've said that here too, that because they take Nigerians for a ride, they say Nigerians are very resilient. They can absorb shock. So anything you do, you throw at them, anything you do to a Nigerian, the Nigerian is there to absorb all the shock. So for that, the Nigerians can never react, no matter how badly battered they are battered. They will not react. But they have also forgotten that this is Sorosoke generation, the Gen Z generation. They have forgotten that, and that the Gen Z generation sometimes could be hot-headed. Anyway, let me go to your next question, and Gladys. You said, why is it that President Tinubu does not want to address the nation? Yeah, and Gladys, that's someone there who is also in this live stream with me. If you read if you can scroll down and read the message, he said that the president and the presidency has come out with an official statement that the president will address the nation tomorrow 7 a.m. Tomorrow 7 a.m. But well, they will say never. They say better late than never. But because why would it take the president 3 days to come up, which was what my honorable friend just said? Why would it take the president 3 days before coming to talk about coming to say that he wants to address the nation? This is something he should have addressed the nation right from the first day. And maybe the loss of lives that we have so far, maybe he would have been abated. So that's the point. And let me read what my very good friend, Mr. George Ononsanya, he said, it is really an opportunity for the president to address the nation and review fuel price and summon all governors to clear arrears of pensions and gratuity, give mortgage loans, and free transportation. That's what Mr. Nasser is saying. That it's time, in fact, it's time the government, as it were now, they should take this opportunity. This is like a window, because I keep saying that when your people are protesting, it's like a litmus test. You use that as a barometer to gauge whether your administration is doing well or is not doing well. That's what you should do. So, because if they are quiet, but you know what they say about quiet people now? They say they are very dangerous, because when they are going to strike, don't they say, please, I don't want a friend that is too quiet. Please speak up. Tell me anything. Tell me you're hungry. Tell me. You don't have to be too quiet, because quiet people fear them. Because when they want to act, you'll be amazed. So why? So the government should be happy that Nigerians are expressing themselves. So that should be like a litmus test for the president, for the presidency, for the government to gauge their performance, so that they will know that whether they are doing well or they're not doing well, and take a stand, rejig, go to the drawing board, look at their roadmap, economic roadmap, look at what they're going to change and stuff like that. Protest is not, nobody hates the administration, for goodness sake. Nobody hates the administration. Nigerians are simply saying that we are blessed in this country. Why can't we have certain privileges? That's what they are saying. Basic things. In Ghana, how did the former president, I think he lost an election just because there was power outage. Power outage. Just because there was power outage. And that cost him the presidency. But look at Nigeria. You treat us the way you like, and we still come there. And some people will say, we didn't vote for you. I would not really want to buy that. I say, I'm a fair-minded person. I am a fair-minded person. I'll say it. All of them, they all rigged the elections. There's nobody that say I did not rig. Even if you didn't rig as a person directly, maybe, I'm talking about those that were vying for the presidency, even if you didn't. But maybe your cohorts, the people around you, your foot soldiers, they did that for you. They did it across all strata. Across all strata, they did it. So I wouldn't say, okay, this and that, but that's not even the point. The point is you're elected, you got sworn in, you swore, they gave you the Bible and you swore to it, allegiance to the Constitution, and then you swore to uphold everything that is in that Constitution. And you swore with the Bible and you swore with the Quran, and then you took the mantle of leadership. So the same way, sometimes I ask this question: why is it that when they vote for you and you win, you're happy? You're happy. Oh, they voted for me. I won the election. I am happy. So, but why then? The other flip side of it, when they are coming with a referendum, because it's like a referendum, you're not doing well, and they are coming with report card. This is your report card. This is your report card. You're not doing well. Also take it in good faith now. Accept it the way you accepted being voted in, and you're happy, you're jollificating, as you say in Nigeria. So if they also come back and say you are not doing well, take it now. Why are you upset? Why are you saying, I'm not saying that people don't sponsor. It's politics. It happens, but no, it's not everybody. If you check the percentage of those that you say sponsored, they are sponsoring people to hijack peaceful protest. If you check that percentage, maybe just one minute, not even anywhere, maybe 0.001%. But the other people are genuinely coming out to express their displeasure. Even me, as much as I voted for the president, even me, I feel that the president could have done better. There's no sugarcoating this one. No sugarcoating this one. I'm saying this one live and direct. I feel the president could have done better. Is it too soon to criticize him? That's the question. But of course, they also tell you that you get to know a child that will, that will be progressively, what was that what I going to use the other time? A child that is going to make it, a child that will be successful tomorrow. They will always tell you that it is by the first step that child takes, as they say, this child, this Pekin, this Pekin, that kind of stuff. So you get to know an administration that would succeed by the first steps that administration makes. It may make some mistakes here and there, but it should be very quick to correct those mistakes. That's what I feel. It should be very quick to correct those mistakes, very fast to correct those mistakes that will remind people that because we trusted you, you that we believed in you, our patience is really running things, seriously. Our patience is running things. So, but when you make those mistakes, it can't just be bad all round, for crying out loud. The indices are there. They don't look good. They certainly don't look good. They don't look good. So if they are complaining, if the people are complaining, listen. They will tell you that in every nonsense that anybody's saying, there is an element of sense in the nonsense. That's what they say. So just listen. So I don't know, Mr. Nelson, I hope I've addressed your situation. Yeah, you talked about to clear areas of pension, the pensioners, and clear the areas of pensions and gratuity. Yeah, because in fact, I don't even want to think about that because even we get funds at least to meet our daily needs, and we are finding it so very difficult to meet those daily needs because of the high inflation. How inflation has dropped off our purchasing power, has taken away our purchasing power, and so one begins to wonder what the pensioners are going through at this point. They gave their all to the nation. They gave their all to the nation. They gave their youth to the nation. They gave everything to the nation by serving the nation, meritoriously. So why is it that at this point they cannot be paid what it is due to them as retirees? It's very sad. In this kind of high, I saw in one of the I saw on social media where there's a lady in Delta State, a woman, a grandmother. Let me show respect to that woman, to that very old woman, very agile woman. I wish I could play the video here, but of course this is live stream, so I can't. And very agile woman, correct agile Delta woman, leading the protest. I can tell you, perhaps that woman, if you do your research very well, you see that woman that spearheaded that protest in Delta State is a pensioner. And if you do your research very well, you discover that she's been owed pension and gratuity. The question is, how do you expect that woman to survive? That's the question. How do you expect that old woman in Delta State that spearheaded that demonstration, leading small children to protest your grandmother in the forefront? So that is the issue. So it's a sad commentary, if I have to say that. So they should pay the pensioners. I heard the governor of what the governor of which state was that recently, that he cannot pay the minimum wage. I'm like, whoa, you can't pay the minimum wage? That's is it? I don't think it's Borno State. I'm just trying to confirm. I'm trying to confirm the state here. He said, okay, in Yobe, I think it was in Yobe state that said you will not be able to pay, the minimum wage. You say you will not be able to pay the minimum wage, and then I think he got a response from Joe Ajeru that says, okay, but you're getting the salaries of a governor, just like the same salary structure of other state governors. You're getting it, but you don't want to pay the minimum wage of 70,000 naira in this economy. Come on, that's not fair. If you had made if the governor had made a major policy change, for example, if his predecessor had maybe 30, for example, now, if his predecessor had, say, maybe 38, he will come down and cut it down to 10. Then one will begin to take him serious. One will begin to take him serious. Or if he does what Michelle Obama said some time ago, that every meal that they give out to their own visitors were actually borne by them. Was actually borne by them. They bore the expenses for feeding visitors coming to Potus. Coming to Potus to visit them. They cannot say because they are in Potus that the husband is the president and that everything should be covered by the state resources. No. So if this governor that is saying cannot pay minimum wage, has he restricted visitors? Even when his visitors come, does he pay from his pocket? Does he pay from his personal funds? Or he still uses the state resources to entertain his guests? So until he begins to do these things, because that's a major paradigm shift, that's when one will begin to say, okay, yes, indeed, he is taking a different trajectory. And then maybe when he talks about not being able to pay minimum wage, and with all these changes, maybe we can begin to see reason with him. But not when all these things are still at business as usual. Because it has come to when the workers, it has come to the workers now. He say he cannot pay. He cannot pay. That simply tells us what kind of leaders do we elect. Do we just elect lazy leaders who cannot think outside the box? Sometimes when I think about when they keep complaining, you call Nigerian lazy Nigerian youths, but you haven't given them the opportunity to express themselves, entrepreneurially now. You haven't set the tone. You haven't given the enabling environment, because Nigerians are very industrious people. They are very enterprising. But when they are faced with bare nothing, there's nothing there. It looks as if they're lazy, but they are not. Give them electricity and see whether they will see the wonders they'll do with that. So you that you're calling Nigerians lazy Nigerian, you have all the resources in this country. Everything, the land, the sea, all the mineral resources, all the natural resources, they are at your beck and call. Yet you cannot translate it to revenue generating, project or business, and then feed your country. But you're so quick to call Nigerians lazy Nigerian youth when you have taken so much from them. You don't give them basic tools that they will need to show you that indeed they are not lazy, that they are just being crippled by the sheer lack of things for them to work. The Yobe governor, I hope that's the governor, because I don't want to give out wrong information yet. I think it's Yobe. The Yobe governor that is saying that he cannot pay salary. I'm sure there's so many things in that state which I haven't really researched. There's so many things in that state that it can put to use and generate funds. Or is it just waiting for they call it feeding bottle? They say we are running a feeding bottle federalism. That's what they say. Just waiting for Abuja monthly allocation, and they'll send money to him. He will get the money, but it's so. I wish so. No, seriously, I wish they can just change. They use that constitution to change this. Let the state begin to generate funds and send to the center. Let it be like that. And then the center can begin, the center will still take care of some items, in the exclusive list. They can still take care of some items in the exclusive list. But let the state decentralize. Let the center decentralize and evolve power to the state, and let the state begin to generate funds. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing that they cannot generate this because it's in the exclusive legislative. You're always looking for an excuse to be lazy, looking for an excuse not to work. They can't do this because in an exclusive legislative list, it is for the federal government. In the state. So because of that, they can't produce, they can't generate funds. Their IGR is poor because what they are supposed to use is being controlled by the center. I just see that as a lame excuse. That's what I see it as. So now let the constitutional review that they are doing, amendment that they want to do, can they please tell the state, generate your resources, then send a percentage of that to the center. Let me see what these states, let me even see their capacity, because I'm sick and tired of these their lame excuses of almost every resources in their state being in their exclusive legislative list. I'm tired of that argument. Seriously. They are just looking for an excuse not to work hard. And you complain that you cannot pay in this time. I can't pay 70,000. You're complaining. You have never gone 1 month without collecting your salary as the governor. Never gone 1 month. Anyway, I'm just getting a bit irritated by that statement, honestly. I didn't expect that from, what is 70,000? That you're complaining that you cannot pay your citizens. So it's okay. Yeah. Do I have all that messages coming in? Gladys, I'm still here. If you're still there, Gladys, I don't know if you can drop your message. I hope I responded to your question with the one you said. Why is it that the president? Why is it that President Tinubu does not, want to address the nation? I have addressed that, responded to that your statement. You have any other? Gladys, if you're still there, you can hear me. Could you just type in the comment section that you can hear me? And then if you have other issues that you want me to look at, could you just type it and let me read it out and see how I can respond to that. I know that phone came in. I don't know whether it's still there or it's gone off. Okay, is it gone off? I think so. My good friend is still here. Mr. My Oga Patapata, Mr. Samuel Akpan. Well, I sent a link earlier on. I said I would appreciate if you come in to be my guest today. If you haven't responded to that, I don't know whether you're still here. If you're still here, then respond to that. Let me see. I would like to have your take. I like to listen to you. I like to have your take here on the subject. Being a media mogul yourself, so I think you very well do justice to this. So if you're still there listening to me and hearing me loud and clear, Mr. Akman, could you please come on and let's make this a conversation more interactive, and let's make it more interactive. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I was talking to I was asking of Nfon Gabriel. Nfon Gabriel, I don't know if you're still there. If you're still here, okay. Okay, if you're still here in front, Gabriel, I hope I've responded. I've addressed your concern, but you have more concerns that you want addressed. So could you please send it to me and let me just read and then address them? Okay. Oh, okay. It is here. Hey, Francis is here. Okay, that's my little cousin. Edith, thanks for showing up. I quite appreciate that. I hope you are the. Oh, what did I hope you all voted Tinubu? Yeah, yeah. Okay, hope you all that voted Tinubu are really, really enjoying his reign. Yeah, then Edith, this is not the time to pass the buck. um, pressure, pressure. Please come and give me water. This is not time to pass the buck, Edith. This is not time to pass the buck. Whether we did vote or we didn't vote, it's neither here nor there. And well, it's neither here nor there. Because the thing is that what we are here, this is where we are now. What are we going to do with it now? This is where we are. Because if you read the caption of this live stream, you see that I've asked this question. The fact that Nigerians are protesting, which of course is their inalienable right to do so, their constitutional right to do so. Is it right for the police to be trigger happy? Much too willing, to use weapons on peaceful voters, peaceful protesters, and that's the question. Is it because there is no way of punishing them? Excuse me. Is it because there's no way of punishing them, and they just feel that they can just go ahead and then attack peaceful protesters? So that's the point I'm making. Okay, Edith, you've asked again. You said I asked a harmless question. I wasn't passing anything. No. Well, I know. Yeah, of course, you asked. Yeah, that's why I say that. It's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. And the point is now, let's address the big elephant in the room. And the big elephant in the room here is why is it what gives the security these security officers, as the 12 police, to be very specific, the audacity of using their weapon on peaceful protesters? What do you think it's behind? I mean, what is giving them that booster for them to think that they can just shoot and then nothing happens? Yeah, I don't know. I want to at least let me get your opinion on that. There must be something that of course we saw what happened in the US, and when a police officer manhandled someone, and that's their fault, that's his name, and manhandled him, and then which resulted in fatality. And of course, I think we saw what happened. I don't know, and because if the law is activated, because I mentioned a while ago that police that is drafted to protect and guide the protesters is actually fulfilling his judicial responsibility to protect at that point. He's the protector at that point. So, and for him to use that opportunity to do otherwise instead of protecting his harm, and then there's a serious problem. And the question is why the audacity? Is it because they do these things and go scot-free and without any impunity? Yeah, that they do with all kinds of impunity, that any penalty, without any redress, without they are not tried and convicted. Is that why? Is that a booster for them to continue? That's the question I was asking, that I'd like you guys, if you're getting me, if you're listening to me, to respond to, and then I'll try and see how I can react to that. If you can hear me, Mr. George Onosan, you can hear me. My Oga, the former MD of Inspirational FM, you can hear me. From Gabriel, you're still there. I'm still awaiting your response with all the things I've talked about. If there's any other thing you want me to address, and I think the time is right for me to address those things. All you need to do is just to drop your message. I don't know why let me drop the link again in case you want to come in. I drop the link again. All you need to do is to all you need to do to come into let me drop the link, and just click on the link, and then you will come in. Okay. Okay, the link, I sent the link is here. The link is up. Let me get it out again and send. So in case if you want to come in, use the link to come in. Okay. Yeah, copy the link again. Copy the link again, and then you post there. Okay. Okay, the link is there now again for the second time. If you want to come in, let me know. So I've dropped the link again in case you want to. You can just click on the link and come in, and then I'll allow you in. So concerning the broadcast, the presidency has come out to inform Nigerians that there's going to be a broadcast by tomorrow, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Yeah, that's the time. And what do you expect the president to say? I mean, do you expect the president to accede to to the demands of the protesters, or what do you think? Can you just preempt what you're likely to get from that and press the address to the nation tomorrow? I can read your comments. You can drop the comments so that I can just read your comments. And drop your comments. I can read your comment. I say, okay, tomorrow the president is going to address from what my friend that just posted and informed Gabriel, and that tomorrow by 7 a.m. that the president is going to address the nation tomorrow. And okay, it's okay. I can read what you're saying here. Say, okay. So that is because we are in APC regime. In this regime, freedom of speech is allowed, but freedom after speech is what we can't guarantee. We have right to protest. Then what happens when or after? That's a tricky one. Okay, we have right to protest, but we can't guarantee you after the protest what follows. Okay, okay, I think that's what am I going to call that? That's what people are putting out there. As a matter of fact, it's a bit is humorous. If you ask me, of course, you have the right to protest. You can't guarantee what happens after you protest. Where I don't, you finish protesting, you're in your house, and they come into your house to, pull you out, and then is that what they're going to do? Protest, and that's your constitutional right. But always guard your utterances. I always say that, moderate, moderate your utterances. Because I know some people, they don't moderate the way they talk, and you just try to moderate your utterances. You make it yeah, you temper it with some, I'll say tone it down, tone it down. You don't, of course, no matter what, even if you don't excuse me, even if you don't respect the president as a person, I always say that you can respect the position, respect his position, respect his seat, because that is where the respect is. If you feel you can't respect him as a person, please, can you respect the seat? Because when you respect the seat, you invariably you're respecting the president. So I always tell people to guard their utterances. You don't need to be vulgar. I always say that you don't have to be, you don't always have to be denigrating to express yourself. You don't need to go into name calling. You don't need to go brash, a loud mouth, you know. That you don't need to be that to communicate. You can always send your message across, your message well passed. But you don't need to do all that, because I know a lot of people, they talk because they want to trend. And maybe that's what you're referring to, Edith, that you can protest, but your right to protest is guaranteed. But what happens after you protest may not be guaranteed. Maybe that's what you're referring to. Because if you're loud mouthed, if you're brash, if you're denigrating, and then you said all kinds of things, and of course maybe that might follow you after the protest. Because that's why I said be temperate. Moderation is the key word here, and then always and carry authority with high esteem. In as much as you're trying to express yourself in such a way that you don't malign people, you don't disparage people, you don't disparage them, you don't disparage their office, but just keep going. If I say the president, and the president is clueless, perhaps I may just define what that means. Cluelessness, it could be just that the president doesn't have a clue to what is going on in the country. Maybe he's not getting the right feedback. Perhaps if you explain that, it won't look like you are disparaging the president. Do you understand that? Let's say you're clueless, and I can come and define why I say you're clueless. I say that with all sense of responsibility, that you're clueless, meaning that you may not have a clue to what is going on in the country. Perhaps you're not getting the right feedback, and that will make you give the wrong diagnosis of of things, and then giving the remedy, because of course you've not diagnosed very well. Of course, the solution will definitely be wrong, and then the pain will continue. So that's just that. So that's all I can say about this, Edith. So okay, say how best. Okay, how can you beat someone and tell the person I'm sure you wanted to say, going to tell the person not to cry. So you wanted to say not to cry. You omitted the not there. But then, okay, fine. How can you beat someone and expect the person not to cry? Nigeria has been so battered. They are hungry, and then that's of course you don't expect them not to revolt. Even if you have a child in the house and you keep starving the child, the child will just, the day you step out of the house, he goes straight to the pot where you have your food, and the child will dish very well. Maybe this is a child that would never do that before, but because you've starved the child, and then of course the child he has to eat. So you go there, get the food, eat, and then when you come back, of course, there's nothing you can do to that child. The child was hungry. That's what they were saying. Yeah, someone is in pain. Yes, the person, we are flesh and blood, so we are supposed to respond to stimulus, and that the stimulus of pain is making you cry and that kind of stuff. So that's the point. Of course, you respond to that. And I hope I responded to your question. Any other question? Okay, any other question? So that I have about, I wanted this live stream to just be like 2 hours, and I'm hitting my 2 hours now. Maybe after that, because I was actually waiting for, there's someone I invited to come to this live stream, and I keep saying, I'm coming, because I wanted to make the person my, guest, my guest, I wanted to make the person my guest. And he said, I'm coming back, because I really wanted to have some perspective on the issue. And because this issue is very broad. In fact, we need to, things are not fair. Things are not fair, seriously. Things are not fair. The system, the government has to sit up, seriously. The government has to sit up. So that's just that. So okay. Is there any other message here so that I can deal with it? I have like 3 more minutes before I call it a wrap. I have like 3 more minutes before I call it a wrap. I've been doing this live stream for 2 hours now, like just 3 minutes before hits 2 hours. So I thank you guys for coming up to at least keep me busy, keep me busy. And that's and tomorrow, God willing, we come up with another, okay, maybe the offshoots of what is going to happen after the broadcast tomorrow will set the tone. It's going to set the tone for the live stream that I'm going to have. I haven't had live stream for God knows how long. I said from the beginning of this program, from the beginning of this live stream, that even before I was monetized, I used to do live stream. In fact, I was known for live stream all through. And then all of a sudden, after monetization, I couldn't do live stream anymore. And I was like, what? What happened? But I didn't bother trying to find out what happened. I just left it. I left it, and perhaps, I don't know, maybe sometimes when something like this, something happens, instead of trying to find out what's going on, you can just ignore it for a while. And they will say in Nigeria, after a while, your brain will reset. That's what they say. So at that time, I left it, and then, just about last week or so, I'm like, okay, let me even check whether in brain don't reset. So as I checked, jokes apart, as I checked, and I was able to, I just set up the live stream, and I was like, oh, that's it. So I'm really, really grateful. So tomorrow I think I'll be doing more of live stream. I'll be doing more of live stream as it is now. I probably going to, what is going to determine what I'll do tomorrow be dependent on whatever the president is going to say, since he's coming to address Nigeria. Thanking Mfon Gabriel for bringing that information and forthwith here, and then get to know what the president is going to be talking about tomorrow. Whatever the president says, that will likely form the topic for my live stream tomorrow. So that's what is going to happen. And then so for today, I want to thank everybody that has made my live stream today. a huge success. I thank you all. I thank Edith Francis. I thank I thank Gladys. Gladys, I thank you, Gladys Oyebo. I thank you very well, Gladys. And then I thank George, my very good friend George Onose. I thank you very much. And Gabriel, from Gabriel, I thank you specially too for coming to my live stream today. Who else? I thank my boss, my Oga Pata Pata, the former, managing director of the GM. I beg your pardon, the general manager, not the MD, and the general manager of Inspiration FM. In fact, he came in and asked, was the one that I asked the question that I was saying that what's and the fact that some people could be a move, it could sponsor some move to infiltrate the demonstrators, infiltrate the protest, and then make the protest, erupt the protest, and make it violent. And then said it was one that said when that happens, what do you expect the police to do? I've already addressed that issue anyway, but I also put up a question: the why the police seem to be audacious in the way they are trigger happy, and to be much too willing to use their weapon on peaceful protesters. Why are they that audacious? Why the audacity? Of course, nobody responded to that. But of course, maybe because the law is here to catch up with them, or the law hasn't convicted them for, for committing that kind, because that's going to go and protect the protesters is the official responsibility which the police would have to, and protect. So, I mean, instead, the police is now turning its weapon, against the peaceful protesters, which it means that they have failed in that responsibility, that crucial responsibility they have failed. So I said all that. Thank you so very much. We're going to call it a wrap for today. Thank you so very much for coming to my live stream. And we'll do this again tomorrow after the president broadcast. Thank you and good night. Bye.